Hello, everybody. The ET Whisperer first winter solstice transmission is on the air and live for all of our Facebook people. As you know, we always have a bit of a delay, so we're going to sound check that real quick. Okay, it is working. It's perfect, guys. Hello to everybody. How are you guys doing? We are so excited for you guys to be here. Kalina and myself are here for the winter solstice transmission.
Hi, everybody. It's the voice of Kalina Angell.
The one and only Kalina Angell and little Kalina / Rob hybrid in her belly. For those of you who haven't heard, we're having a baby, and the due date right now is supposed to be July 15th. So that's what we know for now, right?
Yeah, that's what we know. We'll see when little baby Gauthier decides to come into the world.
Hello, everyone in the chat. We see all of you. We see Liza Fincastle. We see Sherry, Tracy, Tan, Darian. We see all of you guys. Thank you guys so much for being here. Thanks for being a part of this. This is very much last moment. We knew that we had today open, and instead of taking one day of rest, because this last 2 weeks has been insane with my son and his medical stuff, and me and Kalina and all of our stuff and all the sessions we've been doing. So it has been insane, but today we wanted to do this. We've always wanted to do a winter solstice transmission, the precipice of energy, something that Aridif talked about at the very beginning of the year, even at the end of last year, how this would be a powerful transformative energy for a lot of people. And personally, Kalina and I just wanted to hear what he had to say about it. And in that way, we also wanted to get you guys to have your questions. Now, if you haven't sent the questions in, Kalina, just put them in the chat. It's also pinned in the very top of the comment section below the video. But please read the setup on those. We're only taking collective questions today, and the reason is because this is a video for the collective. We're going to save the private questions for personal questions, stuff like that, for either sessions that you might have one-on-one or when we do the open forum, which we will be doing soon. Probably not by the end of the year, maybe close to the end of the year, close to the beginning of next year. We are going to do the open forum, and we've got links for that somewhere. And we'll find those too and post that up under the video here, under the comments too. Either Kalina or myself will. So it's amazing, guys. This is just less than 2 weeks away from the end of the year, the beginning of 2019, an amazing energetic shift. People out there who are celebrating all of the wonderful late fall holidays, such as the solstice, Christmas, Hanukkah, all of those. They're having a good time or not having a great time, depending on how you do it, with family, by yourself, whatever you are. Know that me and Kalina love you. This amazing community that we built here at ET Whisperer loves you. And we are excited to get everything set up in the past and future. And sorry, guys, I thought I had my phone turned off, but apparently I did not.
I had the same thing just happen.
All right, guys. Yeah, it was probably a family group text. But we're shutting that down right now, guys. So anyway, tonight we're going to do the channeling. Aridif's going to come forward. He might bring some entity in. He might not. But the moral of that story is that we are going to channel tonight about relevant energies with the solstice and relevant energies with an upcoming year, what's coming forward, all of those things. I know me and Kalina are looking forward to the new year with baby, with some transformations with my son and the issues that have been going on there for years. We also are looking forward to something that's going to be happening in just over a week from now. And I don't know, Kalina, is that something you wanted to share? You wanted me to share real quick?
Yeah, I can share it, or we can go back and forth and share it.
You've got all the pertinent information in front of you. That's why I was hoping maybe you would.
Yes, I do. And in fact, if you guys want to head over to thechannelpanel.com, you'll get more information as I'm saying it. But on December 29th, On the Channel Panel YouTube page and also on Rob's YouTube page. We will be screening a free channel panel this year. It'll be for 24 hours, and then the videos go on sale after the 24 hours. So the one on the Channel Panel YouTube page will start at 2 p.m. Eastern Time, and it will go on, we'll keep it up until the next day at 2 p.m. And then on Rob's, because I know we all know that you guys live in different parts of the world and you have work and all. And then so on Rob's ET Whisper, the official ET Whisper, it'll start at 9 p.m. and go until 9 p.m. the next day. After that, it'll go on sale so that we can have money made for our wonderful channelers who are extremely gracious and creating a video, because this is actually not going to be live, but it has not been seen. They made all new videos. The channel panel and the theme for this year is integrating light and shadow. Rob and I had a big discussion about it this year and how, a lot of our shadows are just kind of coming out, and, a lot of us are talking about how we, seek the light or being light workers, but we're dealing with a lot of our shadow selves too. So we had our channelers talk to their guides, whatever that means to them. We didn't really define exactly what that means because I think it's more fun for us to hear what their guides, higher selves, and such have to say about that. But like I said, yes, December 29th, free online broadcast, 24-hour screening. And again, you can find more information at thechannelpanel.com. We're editing all the videos together. There's 18 channelers with us this year, including Rob and myself. We've got myself, Kalina Angell, Rob Gauthier, Sean Swanson, Daniel Scranton, Mary Chris, Dominique De La Cruz, Jim Charles, Shelley Young, Susie Baylor, Lola Singer, Kelly Coffey, Bob Hickman, Jeff Faustino, Gita Rose, Daniel James, Karen Newman, Robbie McKenzie, Jesse Starr, and Brad Johnson. So it's going to be huge. It's going to be awesome. And
humongous.
Yeah, we hope you guys will join us and enjoy it. And just, we've all been through a lot of growth, a lot of amazing things, but we felt, you know what? We all deserve a break at the end of the year here. Let's have a free channel panel for everybody.
Are you still chatting? My headphones are starting to go in
No.
and out. Okay.
No,
I just wanted to make sure. I didn't want to stomp on you.
I figured I'd better stop now because you know how I get excited and I can go on a tangent. Believe me, guys.
We both can.
We can. Before you know it, it'll be like half an hour and then we start. So I'm like, okay, better stop it there.
Well, my headphones might be dying, so I might have to switch over to some manual ones. But I'll be doing that before I start doing that. I charged them, but sometimes I didn't open my new headphones like a smart ass, and I ended up relying on the ones that I was replacing. But anyway, I'll figure that out. You guys don't need to worry about that. We are going to be doing the...
Whoa, real quick. First of all, thank you everybody that wished us well, but also, I don't know if you want me to use your real name, Fincastle Underground, but Fincastle Underground's birthday is tomorrow, so I wanted to say happy birthday.
Happy birthday, fellow Capricorn brother.
Yep.
Absolutely. So, yeah, everything's going to be awesome. Channel panel. We wanted this year to be free for everybody. We know not everyone can afford our events. We know not everybody can afford sessions. And that's kind of why we built Patreon also, so that people who only had $10, $11 per month can throw in the $11 package and still get extra, 2 extra 1-hour channelings. And if any of you are here from Patreon right now, we will be doing that next week. After Christmas, before New Year's, we're going to have both live streams set for that. And for those of you who haven't checked out Patreon, we do at very least 2 videos per month on Patreon. We do a suggestion poll where everyone puts in their suggestions the week before. And then we put all of your suggestions in a vote, and everybody votes on them. The one that gets picked the highest, Aridif talks for at very least an hour about those. It's often followed up with Kalina doing some Q&As about that subject, and it goes very, very in depth. Each subject gets full coverage. It's an amazing thing. And then the second one is the Q&A, the webinar. We do it every month. Everybody gets to send in their questions, and then Treb and Aridif pick them out of a jar randomly. Kalina reads them out loud. Whoever you're asking, Treb or Aridif answers. So those two things we're doing every month, and you only have to be in the $11 package to join all that. The higher packages have more things added, but that's very minimum, and we're trying to get a lot of people over there before the first of the year. And not just the 2 videos every month. You get access to the last year and a half that we've been doing Patreon. It's been that long. So 2 videos per month minimum for all of the year and a half. You get to go back and look over all of them. If you're not on Patreon and you love our channeling and you want to support us in a financial way, please do. Those who don't, the financial energy is just one way of sharing energy. The amount of comments that we get from you guys on the videos, the Facebook posts that you guys share with us, the emails that you write us, all of that love that you guys give us is huge, and we always are grateful for it. We always use it in our practical life. Sometimes, you know, as humans, we have shit in our life too, and when we look and say, wow, you know, this person's really been helped by what Treb said or what Aridif said, they're really having a positive impact in their life with our work. That makes us happy too, because we know it's doing exactly what we intended to do. So we're going to shut up, guys. You guys have been on long enough.
One thing,
sure.
Can you hear me okay?
Oh, yeah. Perfect.
Good, because my pregnant ass is laying down on the bed as we speak to be comfortable.
Yeah, the first trimester, anyone who's pregnant or who has known someone who's pregnant knows that can be a very fun time.
Yeah, I was like, I'm going to lay down comfortably on the bed and do this in my pajamas.
I don't blame you a bit. We can hear you, sweetie, so you're perfect.
Awesome.
I am going to neutralize everyone. That means you'll see a blank screen. Everybody who's in the chat, please help us when new people come in and say, hey, where the hell's Rob and Kalina at? You guys can say, hey, they're getting ready, and in less than 10 minutes, we're going to be listening to Aridif Live. That will help a lot. Anything else, sweetie?
Just that we love you guys and thank you for joining us. Happy winter solstice, and we're going to have fun tonight.
Happy winter solstice, guys. We do love you. Thank you, sweetie, for doing what you're doing and asking all the questions after Aridif shares whatever he's going to share. And thank you for being a part of this work too, sweetie. You add so much to it.
Thank you, baby. Well, we definitely couldn't do this without you. Mwah to you too.
I am just a glorified microphone.
Aww.
That's a joke.
You're a very high definition microphone.
Well, thank you. You're also biased, but I appreciate it. I love you guys. We're gonna quit flirting on air. We could do that afterwards.
Yeah, we already have a baby in there.
Yeah, so. No kidding. So you guys enjoy, you know, everything. Have fun. We are going to be back, and we're going to rock and roll with Diffie Doo on summer solstice related topics, I'd imagine. All right, guys. 5 to 7 minutes, maybe a little longer, because I'll have to charge these headphones up and stuff. So let's call it 7 to 10 minutes. We're going to be back on live, and we are going to be rocking and rolling, guys. Thanks, everybody, for your comments. Oh, also, that's the thing I wanted to remind. Everyone can put their own comments in the chat thread. If you're not in the chat, you can join the chat. There's a lot of great people there sharing. You can type something down, and we have super chat now. So if there's something you feel is important to share with everyone and you want to make sure everybody sees it, you can add the little money sign. And what that is it's donations to our channel, but it also puts your comment at the top of all comments for people to see so that they can click it and see what it is you write. So if that's something you interest, the more that you donate, the longer it stays up at the top. It's something fun that people like to do. I've done it before on live streams of people I watch. So anyway, that's there if you guys want to play with it. But even if you don't, get on the chat and communicate. A lot of you people talk to Aridif and Treb. You talk to me and Kalina about how you don't have communities in your local town of people who are metaphysical, spiritual, new agey, whatever you want to call it. And you guys can get lonely. this is the place where everybody's at. These are the people who feel the same exact way you do, who love to talk about this stuff, who love to communicate, to share, and to emotionally connect with people. So get on that chat. If you don't, all you got to do is literally log into your Facebook account and you can start chatting too. Remember too, guys, if you haven't subscribed, you can do so by going to the little subscribe button. It's somewhere below the play button. Hit the little bell if you want email every time we put out a video, we upload something, or we do a premiere, which is what the channel panel will be. That way, if you don't remember, it'll always shoot you an email right as it's happening. We love you guys. 5-10 minutes. We'll be back. We'll see you then. Love you guys.
Love you guys. And I just wanted to say, guys, for anybody who is just coming into the chat room, I put in the form link where you can fill out a question. That just helps me not to miss any when people are talking, so you guys can talk as much as you want. And so you just fill out the questions there. Like Rob said, tonight we're doing collective themed questions for the winter solstice, but we will be having upcoming free open forums and also Patreon open forums. So we plan on doing a lot of free stuff as well as the paid stuff in the coming year, like we've done in the past. So, hey, baby, Rob just came in for a second. Oh, the kitty cat. Thank you. Yeah, so Jeannie was asking to get in, and I couldn't hear her with my headphones. So anyway, yeah, so just fill out that form, and if you guys have any problems or anything, just feel free to let me know in the chat room, and I'm right here, and we'll be right back. Love you guys. Do you need a test, sweetie?
It's perfect. Thank you, sweetie. All right, everybody. I'm back from neutralizing. When I was grabbing up my water, I saw a couple messages. Wondering if we're still here. We're here, guys. And we're going to start the channeling right now. We just wanted to introduce everything that we're doing in our personal life and the channel panel that's coming up, and to let you know, if you want your questions asked, please go to the link below, but also follow the format. We're doing only collective questions this time around. If your questions don't get answered or you have personal questions, you can look at the open forum, which is a few videos back somewhere in the description, and we'll find that link again for the form that you fill out for the open forum, and set them in the comments below here, so that if you have personal questions, it's something we're going to be live streaming here in the next couple of weeks. Anyway, guys, it's time. I just wanted to let you guys know, again, we're appreciative of you guys. We love you. Secondly, the collective energy that Aridif is going to read, some of it's going to apply to you, some of it's not. And the things that don't apply to you, still be mindful of, because people in your life who are going through hardships, who are going through excitements, who are going through phases of change, even if they don't believe in channeling or don't like the idea of channeling, the information is something you can still share with them in a way from your own perspective, the way that you hear it expressed, and maybe it'll help someone. So either way, guys, enjoy the channeling tonight. Thank you guys all for being here. Love you, sweetie. I'm going to take one more drink of water, guys. Thank you. I'm going to take one more drink of water, guys, and we're going to jump in.
Glad to see you drinking lots of water, baby.
Yeah, I've got the little one here too, which is easier for Treb and Aridif. But yeah, if
Aridif's been on him about drinking more water.
Yeah, absolutely. If for any reasons I have headphone issues, sweetie, hold on. I'll set the controls where you can shut the camera down, and then maybe come in and drop it off to Aridif, the plug-in ones, or maybe help him with it or something. You know what I mean?
I'm not sure how to do it remotely, but I'm sure I could figure it out.
Oh yeah.
I get the controls.
Oh yeah. All right. Okay. No. Okay, that's not the right one. Sorry. Bear with us, guys. Here, just 1 second. Sorry about that. Yeah, let me shut that one down. Oops. All right. Basically, if I make you well, maybe not. Anyway, I guess it's not that important. Worst comes to worst. I don't think it'll be a problem. It should be fine. Anyway, oh yes, and also, I'll send you this too, Kalina, through the chat message real quick. All right, and that way you'll have it ready for when or if you need it. All right, guys. Love you. Rob Gauthier. What's that?
I said we love you too.
All right. And for those of you who might not know who we are, Rob Gauthier, the ET Whisperer. We're going to channel Aridif about the summer solstice. And Kalina Angell, the most beautiful sunshine ball in the world, and mother of the future channeler to the stars, as many have called it. People are lining up for sessions with our kid already. So
we got people already. We're like, well, let's just see what kiddo wants to do.
Well, mom and dad channeling, there might be a chance. We'll see.
Yes. No pressure, though. No pressure.
Exactly. All right, guys. Let's do this to this. All right, here we go, guys.
Love you, baby.
Love you too.
I'm going to mute my mic.
Greetings to all, this is Aridif, that is Aridif, and this is it spelled. We understand that all of you have queries within this evening, but before diving in to your collective queries, there are three things in which we wish to express. The first two things, above and beyond all things expressed within this evening, to know, feel, and perceive that you are loved, is not only of the utmost importance in our perspective, but it is one of the two things in which we have always expressed. And secondly, it is our greatest excitement, and also within our greatest excitement, to co-create with each and every one of you, individually, collectively, and co-creatively in this moment. Thirdly, we wish to touch deeply into the topic of your summer solstice of the year of your 2018. First of all, when you are looking at the idea of summer solstice, what does this mean to you? It has a different meaning for all of you, but a collective and agreed energy upon the solstice within the winter regions are that your days and nights have come to the complete spectral end of one another, where the equinoxes are, in fact, equal in time of day and night. The energy of as far one way as it can go is a solstice, and that energy is also a representation about your closest point of the sun in half of a cycle, or the furthest away portion of your sun, when it pertains to your solstice equinox energies. Now, in this specific energy, something that we have talked about in great detail previously, we have looked at all of the ideas and consideration of the implications of the winter solstice region for all of human collective. Treb Bor Yit NE has spoken of this before the time period that you call December 21st of your 2012 region. We ourselves have spoken deeply about this energy for the last 5 of your years. In one form or another, we have shared. This year is an energy that is of a different year and a different nature of all the years before, although this energy has been available in human and in the Earth collective. The specific variety of energy is not, and there are many implications, and our own desire to share those implications will come. But first, we step back several steps in order for you to understand why the energy about your equinox and solstices are so important to the Earth collective. First of all of you are collective consciousness of human beings co-creating with one another in the Earth collective consciousness, meaning that if you were to take all of your souls the fractal consciousness in lower and higher fractal consciousness and connect them with your higher self into the oversoul in all fractals that exist in this now moment, you would still look at a higher place of consciousness, the oversouls and oversoul earth collective consciousness. All of those energies are still yet only a fraction of the earth collective consciousness. Altogether, yes, you are the human earth collective consciousness, but what about the dog earth collective consciousness, the cat earth collective consciousness, the cedar tree collective consciousness within the earth collective? All of those energies are their own collective, but when you place all of those collectives together, in summary, you have the entirety of the earth collective consciousness in snapshot form of this moment. What do we mean by the snapshot form? It means that in this moment, you are one frame of an entire energetic field in your linear past and future of the entirety of the earth collective. Right now, all of the plants, animals, viruses, bacteria, water, elemental beings, higher dimensional consciousness, and you are, in this moment, the entirety of the earth collective. But, as you are aware, you are not the only souls that inhabit this earth collective. You remember, as third to fourth density beings, you do experience time in a linear fashion, but linear time is not time. Linear time is not the native way of experiencing time. Although the present moment can be the most native way of experiencing time, you look at all beings throughout your existence, and in your past, all of those beings are still in this moment. You look into your future, all of those beings are still in this moment. You look at each entity that has ever been born within the entirety of the Earth Collective as human or otherwise, and you look towards the future, before the Earth as a planetary consciousness dissolves, swallowed up by the entirety of the Sun, many a billions years from now, you look at all life that has ever touched foot, or touched pole, or touched leaf, or touched molecule upon this planet, and you will receive not the snapshot of the Earth Collective in its entirety, but the entire realm, the entire real, the entire co-created Earth Collective. Now, the Earth Collective in its non-physical form is all of the souls that we've spoken of, that comprise the entirety of the Earth Collective, not only the snapshot, but the entirety. And then you see, as souls in non-physical form, that is the Earth Collective. But just as you are a soul, and you have manifest into the Earth Collective through your physical bodies, how then does the Earth Collective manifest itself into physical reality? Through the planet itself. Yes, the planet is comprised of elemental consciousnesses, building blocks of reality, first density beings, in singular form, then collective through elemental co-creations, all of the second density layers above the first, or around the first, and then third, but also inhabiting Earth in this moment are fourth, fifth, and some sixth density beings. Just in the fifth density, you will and can perceive those that are earth-form reptilian beings. You also will perceive those that are feriki or fairy beings. You perceive all of those magical creatures that are told in your lore of the Earth Collective, and that energy is also fifth density. And you go into the high fourth, where entities are graduating into that energy. You will see those that are Sasquatch, Bigfoot, also other forms of Feriki, or fairies that humans call them, but not from the race Feriki. And in sixth density, there are those who have both visited Earth Collective and become a part of it, but also the energies and entities that have come into the Earth Collective in order to share their energy with it. Some of you know those beings that are called Alpha Draconians, some of those come into the planetary consciousness. Some entities that exist within Andromedan forms also reside within the Earth Collective. All of the layers, all of the consciousness, all of the collective forms, the physical realm of Earth, physical Earth that you are walking on, that you experience, and that is not bound to this moment in your perspective of linear time, but in this moment throughout the entire spectrum of time itself. Now, why do we share this with you? Why is it important to know consciousness behind physicality? Why is it important to know structure and mechanical energy behind our sharing of this? That is because the energy that you call winter solstice, as well as all equinox and summer solstice, are energetic cycles of the co-creation between the Earth itself and your moon and the star at the center of your entire solar system collective consciousness. What are the solar system collective consciousnesses? Just as the Earth is a summation and summary of each being that has ever existed from element all the way to the highest dimension, so too in each planet and their collective consciousness in its entirety, in non-physical state, create the physical manifestation of the star at the center. Now, we have spoken to some of you about the solar energy, the sun, the energy of its own comprisement, the energy and mechanics behind, the consciousness relations. But to give you a small snapshot of that energy, the sun is a multiple variety of collective consciousnesses. There are those elements that create the physical embodiment, what humans perceive as nuclear-fused gases, and plasma exploding from the reactivity. That energy is the physical structure. And in that physical structure, all of the gas that does co-create are also elements, just as the earth in rock, water, fire form elementally holds the place for the rest of the beings to inhabit. So does the sun in its physical form. But it is also all of the planets, all of the moons, all of the rocks of ice and rocks of stone within the entire solar system collective, going out, in fact, past your Kuiper belt. All of those things, whether it is the size of a microbe or the size of Jupiter, all of those things collectively combine their consciousness and is the sun at the center of the region. In this moment, the three bodies that we've expressed, Earth, Sun, Moon, all have their own energetic field, energetic co-creative ability and power, and each of them have their own force, desire, will, and experiential quality spectrum that it desires. We will hydrate and continue. When the earth has its own desire to experience, and the moon its own desire to experience, and both of those come together in order to form what most humans perceive as a stabilizing balance within the axis of the earth collective energy, and that is stabilized by all of the planetary setups, Jupiter, as you would call the protector of your solar system, and all of the other planets that have settled in their own orbit, create the sun in its own conjunction with Earth consciousness. All of these things are playing with one another in this moment. At your solstice energy, we will share what the dynamics are. You will perceive the Earth as a tilted energy. That is quite so the case, and most planets have at very least slight tilts. But what that represents for the Earth collective is the degree in which the spectral energy desires to have that solstice energy, that energy of equinox, that balancing quadrant, and a four-pointed energy For the earth, it represents a multitude of numbers 4. It represents your cardinal directions, north, east, south, and west. It represents 4 of the physical elemental constructs: earth, fire, wind or air, and water, electricity, and all of the energies that are fire and electricity combined. Earth, water, and wind each have their own construct within this, each of them meaning something different for the entirety of the earth. And that axis allows 4 seasons to occur and 4 seasons to be experienced in the regions of earth almost entirely. And in that expression, and all of the symbolistic energies behind the 4 symbols, it represents a power into itself. And in the winter solstice, the moon energy, adding its own co-creative mechanism along with the sun, creates in this year a great precipice of energy. Most of you have noticed, as you experience your 2-year cycle, that you have experienced ups and downs, hardships and freedoms, co-creative expressions of expansion and resistances. And in this moment, there are 3 waves of energy that are most relevant to this specific experience of your winter solstice. And this can be said for all solstices, but the sub-points within this we will speak of in one moment. The first energy that it relates, or the first wave, are those who have gone through major forms of resistances. In those major forms of resistances, this portion is where you start sliding back down to your normal grounded region. This is where you feel yourself going over the peak and starting to go back down towards your normalcy. Others have had off and on, ups and downs, and in that experience, this will be the beginning portion of the bottom of the hill, of a small down, but leading to a great high. In that energy, you can make of it what you will, but we will express more specifics in one moment as well. Thirdly, you have those who have felt great expansion, and only expansion, since your last solstice energy. And those of you will start being forced, energetically speaking, from your higher self perspective, to start introspecting into your own beliefs that still hold limitations. Regardless of what 3 wave you are on, one fact remains consistent: that all of you are always faced with choices, whether it is up or down, side to side, variances of up, or just up. You are all experiencing the way that you interpret your reality. Many of you have taken that great deal of resistance in your last year, 6 months or 3-month region, and you are now starting to see that the only reason that your resistance was there to begin with was the nature of your beliefs. Every time there was an opportunity for you to expand, you stepped past the expansion and said, "I'm not ready yet. I will expand after I explored this energy for a while longer." Then you are faced to go through that experience again repetitively until you are able to either interpret it differently or start feeling, believing, and expecting this to be your normal course of experience. One moment, hydration again. All of you share in any 3 wave, ups and downs at one level or another. Many humans are starting to say, we are going into 4th density, we are in 4th density, we desire to be in 4th density, we are going to ascend, or we desire to. Why should I have any forms of resistance? Why am I not taken instantly into my reality that bears no hardships? And there is also a reason for this. You are already that fourth density being. You are contemplating who and what you are as individuals, as collective consciousness. And in each time you are finding one answer, that we are still learning, we are still growing, and we are still expanding. Even if I am able to live my life vibrations above those around me, I am still co-creating in a denser environment due to the nature of more beings being more third density in their vibration than fourth. So you follow and you feel that energetic pull, that give and pull and give and pull. And when you experience that energy, it can do one of two things for you. It can make you feel exhausted from playing your tug of war for so long, or it can make you drop the rope and understand there is no need to tug if you do not believe you need to. There is no need to go in opposition to the enemy when there are no enemies around you but what you've created in your mind. Even those with an aggressive behavior, even those who have tentatively decided in their existence to make your life a miserable experience, only you can give them the power to do so. Even if they were to knock on your door each day with your joke of flaming dog poop, you would still be able to call the police. You would still be able to wipe off the bag of poop off of your porch. You can form whatever experience that you desire with the correct perspective in how you are co-creating with others. If you understand that it does not require an experience of your belief in order for someone else to react to you in a certain way. It only requires your belief to experience the way that you receive and understand that experience. Then you will find yourself expanding more so than retracting. The reason why we share the energetic nature in subcategories and categories is that we desire to try to get all of you to understand certain cycles that you are going through. And although there are three main waves, there are also subwaves within. Many of you who are going through experiences, especially those that are carrying astrological signs within your energy, whether it is that Jupiter or Saturn energies that are in your own birth chart and sun signs. Some of you are also taking those bodies that you perceive as planetary consciousnesses and integrating that energy into your experience. We understand and know quite well what Capricorns are up to, as we are with Rob and Kalina quite a bit. And in that energy, those beings are not just making their average jumps from month to month, lunar cycle to lunar cycle in 28 days. They are not just going through their solstice and equinox varieties of energy. They are also going through a 30-year cycle of energy in which all things in which they experience are completely shifted and changed in the radical form. This is brought about by either great excitement and expansion after putting in hard work and expanding your consciousness, or it is to put you into a place that feels and expresses miserableness to most humans in the way that they experience it, until they are able to find out what is causing that energy. And again, this is done so on such a large scale, it is not comparable to the equinox energies. But in times of equinox energies and your astrological understandings of co-creation, this intensifies over threefold the amount that other beings are going through. Even though you are not bound to your star charts, even though you are not bound by what you would perceive as your astrological sign of your understanding and culture, you are still dealing with co-created planetary consciousnesses. You are still dealing with the planets as they move through the solar system, and in the same way that a crowded room of humans will always affect one another in one form, energetically, emotionally, or mentally, experientially especially, so do the planets when they are going through as a part of the solar system collective. They are affecting one another. They are affecting the moons in which they are close to inhabiting, and more than anything, they are affecting the way that the sun interacts with your planetary consciousness, and hence your experiential changes. Mechanically, because of the planetary movements, it does shift energy in the collective. But we digress. We go back into the same understanding and construct of unlimited conscious creatorship that each and every one of you experience. And that is, yes, other people in this crowded room are able to move, but I am the one that is able to take all of the things that are happening around me and interpret it in the greatest way for my own expansion. Remind yourselves of this, especially those that are in the first and third form of wave, although second will not need to realize that as they are going into the downs, but it will be recognizable to you more later after you feel the smoothing out portions. We will take your queries at your leisure.
Thank you so much, Aridif.
Yes, of course, and greetings, Kalina.
Greetings, Aridif. Thank you for being here tonight and for just joining us for this beautiful winter solstice transmission of 2018.
Yes, of course.
So I'm going to open it up with a question myself. So according to the Earth archangels and the Earth elemental beings, what is the overall theme for the human collective in 2019?
Yes, of course. So in that 2015 region, it was a regrouping of all of the energies in 14, so a continuous climb for approximately 2 years, first shifting in 2014, then in 2015 expanding that shift, and then 2016 testing that roots, and 2017 and 18 were great deals of all of the bubbling up of the belief systems, of experiential energies, and the quality of creation. Now, your 2019 experience includes in themes the one major theme, at least in the Earth Collective Consciousness for the 2019 region, is the fact that all of you are shifting now. You have already experienced shifts in your last 2 years. Now you are going to have to start reassembling your new life. That energy of all of the belief systems that you have dropped, all of them that you have added, all of the resistance that you have rid yourself of, all of the new forms of resistance, you are having to restart many different energies. You are having to understand the nature of rebuilding those certain experiences. Some of this feels difficult, but for the majority's sake, if you allow yourself to be excited by changes in your experience, it will in fact be a gratifying experience. It will be strongly shifting in that experience. It will be the rebirth, and we understand how funny this is for you, Kalina and Rob, as you are specifically experiencing a form of rebirth, but in the sense how your life operates and day to day, all of you are starting to rebirth the injuries sustained to you in your last 2 years of going up and down, of feeling the greatest depths of your belief systems that were painful, and exploring those that were exciting to you.
Sorry, I was trying to get my microphone to turn on. What did?
Yes,
That's
we understand.
amazing. Thank you so much, Aridif.
Yes, of
Oh,
course.
beautiful. All right, so we've got amazing questions here. So I'll start off with Kern. who says, I understand the pyramids made use of sound vibrations within the lattice crystals, structured water, ley lines, and the geometry of an octahedron. Can you speak about I hope I say this word right. Can you speak about the piezoelectric effect was initiated within the Great Pyramid as a power plant?
Yes, first of all, the understanding of this structure, for the most part, is correct. There were components within the entirety of the Giza region and the Great Pyramid complex that was for the vibrational resharing or distribution of electromagnetic energy, and more specifically, perhaps as you would say it, ionizedly charged energy. And in that electric compound, it was for the benefit of those that were the Anunnaki in that co-creative time. But it wasn't only the Anunnaki who used this. Now, we are not able to speak too deeply about this construct. For one, Rob's mind does not have all of the proper terminology, and even if it were to have the proper terminology, this part was a part of your past experience within technological constraints. But in this moment, there is a lesser understanding. There are those who inhabit the Earth collective consciousness that can make great deals of sense of that energy. And when they do explore it, they will be able to fortify their previous forms of knowledge, expand and change some of the small fundamental differences in the way that it truly activated to the way that they perceive that it activated. This can help with your free energy construct, although it is not completely free in that way, as there are some energies that need to be introduced in order to. That energy can be an expression of the most clean and free energy of the Earth Collective. This is why we are not able to speak deeply about this. We are not interfering with the natural form of Earth evolution, especially in forms of technology. But we thank you for this.
Thank you, Aridif. Did you want me to read a quick? I googled up is it piezo or piezoelectricity? Would that be necessary if you wanted to expand upon it?
Yes, we are able to expand upon that construct, but we are not able to expand on the mechanism behind the working of that construct.
Okay, so yes or no to read the definition?
Your leisure, you may decide.
Well, I'll just read this little bit to you, and then you let me know if that's necessary. So it says piezoelectricity is the electric charge that accumulates in certain solid materials in response to applied mechanical stress. The word piezoelectricity means electricity resulting from pressure and latent heat.
Yes, of course, this is the minor version of what your electricity that comes from your sky is. It is a compression of heat and energy, and is done so on much more intensified versions in the thickest forms of your clouds. Now, we understand it is not perceived in this way scientifically for your minds, but energetically speaking, and as described with that force, we would perceive it as similar. The construct of this energy, as we have expressed previously, will be expanded upon further by the scientific community of your Earth Collective. And what we can share with it is a look at the symbolism behind that construct. It is what is within, what is latent, what is already available within the energetic nature, applying pressure, applying energy into what is already there, and what occurs? Energy. This is almost perfect, identical structure for most of your understandings of creating energy through manifestational means. This is why we have always expressed that symbolism through all things are experientially one of the greatest teachers for the Earth Collective Consciousness. As you start playing with your own understanding of the electrical nature, mechanics that you desire to dive deeply into, always ask yourself one question when either exploring or starting to test your energies and theories. If I were to apply similar principles in consciousness, would it be one of expansion or one of decrease of consciousness? One that gives me the ability to expand, or one that makes me go inward on myself in a negative way with relapse or resistance? And in that form, it will tell you some of the more basic theories behind the redistribution and creation of electricity from forms that most humans are not even considering to co-create with. We have given you previous structures, both Atlantean and Egyptian, that shares ideas with quartz crystals, with electromagnetic frequencies, with sound vibrations, and heavy fields of electromagnetic central through the opposite polar magnetized constructs. And with those things alone, through different intervals, different culminations, and applications, you will find both zero energy, and you can find what is already known to the Earth Collective as free energy components.
Thank you so much, Aridif.
Yes, of course.
All right, let's see what the next question is. So our next question is from Otto, who says, what are the benefits of opening up the governing vessel and conception vessel channels, aka microcosmic orbit, and how does it connect or differ from the central channel and chakra system?
Yes, first of all, when working with central chakra alignment system, and we believe we have spoken similarly to this construct before, you are working with your natural form of energetic field. Now, working with sub-chakra units are just as useful. You are working with the themed centers and the sub-theme centers. So you go to the first sub-chakra layer, or the secondary chakra system. That is the main chakras between chakras. This links the theme between both of those energies. So in between your heart chakra and in between your throat is the high heart chakra. We believe that we gave this, for example, previously. That energy is the emotional and the theme-oriented energies behind the combining of your excitement with your voice, the connection between wisdom and excitement. And in that energy, that is your benefit in complete essence with your chakra system naturally, sub-chakras within. When you are working with either, as you would perceive, perhaps what you would consider, and we are looking for the word, it is not falsely constructed, it is not what they call human-made, but it's something similar to this. It is a projected version that is not a natural form of the chakra system, and you work with components of the energetic fields within. They are still able to have benefits, but nothing will benefit you, whether it is created in that human-made version or whether it is created through technology, will work as beautifully, as clearly, and as perfectly as the chakra system. Even for those humans who have great resistance in their native chakra system, that energy of human form or energetic secondary versions will never come close to the forms of the natural chakra system. It can enhance the natural chakra system when utilized to complete open networking of your chakra, sub-chakra, and what most of you call meridians throughout the entirety of the physical body. Once all of those are working at the highest capacity possible for humans, then utilizing either human-made, technologically made, or other versions of the energetic field systems will only enhance. And by enhancing, it can enhance in forms of 20 to 50%. And in some cases, as you grow out your technology into higher fields, it can increase 2 or 3-fold. But By that point of your evolution, your consciousness itself will have already expanded more than fivefold. So it will still be a 20 to 50% growth of what is there in that moment compared to the over fivefold that it would be at this point of your experience. We thank you for this.
Thank you, Aridif.
Yes, of course.
Okay, so the next question comes from Elsa, who says many people find themselves both speaking and writing light languages at this time. The written languages are composed of symbols. I'd love to know why we, as humans, are feeling moved to write these symbols, which actually appear meaningless if viewed from a purely analytical mind.
Yes, of course. First of all, the reason why they are occurring more and more in the Earth Collective, as you are aware, in that 2012 region, the fourth density consciousness shifts. And although you experience third density majoritively, there are some of you are tapping into the lighter parts of the lowest fourth density consciousness, the slipping of time, the growing of consciousness, the heightened sense of your own psychic networking. So all of those things are occurring individually or in small groups in the Earth Collective. But what happened with the entirety of the Earth Collective at the 2012 region? There is an energy, and some of you call this perhaps a quarantine of Earth energy from either foreign substances or information, depending upon what your personal belief was. And although we have expressed that is not true in the way that most humans perceive that construct, we did express that the energetic nature behind the elevation of information allowed to be expressed and shared with the Earth Collective from its own limitations, not our rules or regulations, but from your own ability to intake larger pieces or parts of information started to come into fruition. That is why you notice in 2012 to 2015 a sharpening of many channelers that have already had information that you found of high quality. You have also found since that time to 2017, those that are sharp before either start becoming more sharp or start resonating with you less, because they are going into more specialized fields of information. The entity being channeled and the channelers' excitement themselves start going into the more high forms of specialized energetic co-creation, as the level of information that comes into the Earth Collective does become more intensified. This is why we are able to bring you things in this moment that we were not 2 years previous, and in 5 years, more so than we are now. Even though in our own perspective we are giving you the maximum form of information possible, and trusting that even for those of you who do not understand, can break down that information in the years to come, we still focus our own energy in expressing whatever is at the forefront of new energetic forms for human constructs. Light language is not a new form in the sense of the word, but the intensity level and vibrational quality is much higher than the forms before. Those energetic nature of co-creative energies with yourself and the language and others co-creatively in the language are quite different. You, as the person who shares those ideas, are getting something completely different than those that you share it with receive. For example, when you are working with verbal light language, you are not only expressing your throat chakra, you are not only enhancing the amount of downloads available to your own throat chakra, third eye, and crown, you are also exploring the expansion of integrated consciousness from higher fractal to lower fractal consciousness. And continuing, you are growing consciousness as all other humans are doing in addition to that energy. So the co-creative measure is slightly different, For those who are hearing, the verbalized light language are starting to receive something different. Yes, they are getting more downloads, they are opening their psychic networking, but they are not specializing in any one chakra. They are taking it in the form that is most receivable to them. This is how prayer works for most of you, how downloads work for most of you. All of you are receiving the same download, but understand it differently. Light language is a language that is not meant to be expressed in a way that is translative. Unless it is an excitement, then by all means translate away. But in the energetic nature of co-creating the sound vibration alone, the energy within transmitting that vibration alone are the components that shift consciousness, that allow that download of the forefront information to come into your sphere, into yourself, and integrate into consciousness via multitudes of different formats. And as you decode the information that is brought in from the downloads, you will navigate your life in different ways. If you desire to listen, to receive, to understand, and to implement what downloads you are receiving. What we have always suggested in light language or foreign energetic co-creative verbal manifestations of channeled information that is not in the native language of the channeler themselves or any language that is understood upon Earth Collective. Do not try to take your mental body down the road. Open up your emotional, your psychic body, your auric body, and your chakra body to that energy. The mental energy can dissect after transmissions, but allow the other bodies to stand at the forefront, and it will receive the highest of the cutting-edge information that is starting to trickle in to the Earth Collective more so and more so in each moment. We thank you for this.
Thank you, Aridif.
Yes, of course.
So our next question it comes from Bill, and Bill says, Aridif, I feel that time is accelerating in the form of a vortex. The image I get is that we are spinning down the neck of the vortex at an accelerating rate toward a still point where we enter a higher dimension. Is this at all realistic? Are all people on Earth experiencing the same time acceleration?
Yes, first of all, no, not every human being is experienced that experience, but those of you who are, and that energy and number is growing rapidly, or something akin to what you've expressed, feeling time shifts, that is all side effects of what you are already doing. Each and every one of you are already fourth density and fifth dimensional beings. You are already having access to your fifth and sixth density consciousness that is sitting outside of your body. Humans are known as multi-dimensional beings. There are many beings like that in the universe, but humans are especially energetically creating with that multi-dimensionality due to the nature of the DNA that has come into your physical structures and all of the densities or dimensions of beings who shared that DNA. As you are going into your fourth density experience, time shift will be more fluid. Right now, it feels as if it is funneling. It feels as if it is compressing. It feels as if it is being focused, but that is because that is what you are doing. You yourself as a consciousness are starting to focus deeply on the greater outcome. You are laser sharp focus gives you that tunnel vision towards expansion and experiential growth. That is why you feel that energy come into your experience quite vividly in that way. The more that you focus on your own excitement leading you to your next step, instead of only a regimented idea about where you should be going, this will show you a great deal of expansion even higher than the great forms of expansion that you have received in your last 1 year of linear time. Take that excitement when you are perhaps guided in that way to take a path that is certain in your experience. That energetic field will create abundance for new experiences and integrative possibilities coming in much more quickly into your fluidity of that linear time experience. We thank you for this.
Thank you so much, Aridif.
Yes.
I'm trying to figure out where the question is that I drew. I put everybody's names in, and then I'm like, oh, I'm trying to find them.
Yes, we understand.
Just give me a second, sorry. Because I have to keep adding them as you guys come in. Let's see. Okay, I guess I'll find that one after. I'll just get the next one after it. Sorry about that. The next one that I had after that was Rajesh. And he says, Dear Aridif, what can you say about false light matrix? Is there such a thing as false light matrix? How can we stay careful from that in our spiritual path?
Yes, now as you are aware, no question is ever answered in the most simple fashion. In this answer, there is a yes and there is a no. The yes is that there are co-created systems with beings who are of malevolent means that do try to work off of the feeding of other consciousness. But the no energy is wrapped around no trap that is created. The idea of false light does not exist. There are different shades of light. There are the brightest of lights, which are, in your perspective, the most pure. There are the dimmest of lights. But even the most malevolent being that exists, that only desires to kill or destroy, is still made of light, is still made of creator consciousness of love and light. We have shared in our most, perhaps furthest from this now moment, with our exchanging with Rob in the human collective in this decade of your time, at the furthest point in the year that is 2012 or 2011 into 2012, that there are multitudes of consciousness. Each of those conscious forms are expressed in different ways. One of our favorite expressions are those that are 11th density beings. Those are known as universal collective consciousnesses. Each universe completely different from another, even if only slightly different. They are completely onto their own construct of energy that is created. Some of those energies are created of galaxies, just as our own universe is. Others are created of only sound, vibration, and colors. Others are so foreign you would not recognize them to be universes at all. One thread that remains, no matter how different the universes are, one thread that remains, regardless of how different the fractals within those universes are, one energy that remains regardless of the division of consciousness, as long as consciousness exists and is a part of all that is. There are two components that are never gone or never missing from all consciousness in creator energy: love and light. So different shades or different forms of light. The falsified light, as you would perceive it, is a construct energetic matrix of those that some humans call acons, or entities that are malevolent, extra terrestrials or dimensions, and they create a false sense of light in heaven. And that way your soul will be attracted to it after your death, and your soul will be trapped. No soul is trapped. No soul can be destroyed. No soul can be removed or taken away from you. No soul can be completely broken down from what it is. The energetic nature of feeding off of a soul energy is not taking away parts of that soul. What it is taking energy that is being expressed outward. In that energy, throwing energy out to the universe, as Kalina would say herself. That energy can then be used. But this is not soul energy. It is psychic energy. It is fear energy. It is thought energy. It is emotional energy. It is all of the energetic nature within that co-creation. Those types of energies can be fed upon, but never taken. They can never be dissolved. All of the energies in creation are different variants of light. So yes, there are false senses of peace, love, and understanding. But none of you who know that you are creators will be susceptible to that. Even those who are susceptible are also experiencing and creating that same experience that they themselves, their higher self, their oversoul, and the entire oversoul collective requires for that personal experience. We thank him. We also wish to express our own query of the time remaining.
Yes, thank you, Ardif. It's 11:05 right now.
Yes, then we will take 3 more queries before disconnecting.
You got it. Well, the next question comes from SSPTFS, who says, Hi, Ardif. Please describe the reptilian birthing process for us all.
Yes, this is pendant upon what form of reptilian. As you are aware, there are ancient reptilians that are Alpha-Draconian in nature. There are Earth reptilians that come from the Earth Collective that are hybridized versions of your dinosaurs and Alpha-Draconian DNA. There are Treb Bor Yit NE's race, which are human reptilian hybrids, but most humans, due to their physical structure, would still classify them as reptilian beings. All of them are birthed in different forms. Some are within that construct of hatching. Those second density or animals hatch from an egg. Some third density beings take similar versions of that and evolve with it. Then in fourth and fifth and sixth density, such as Treb Bor Yit NE's race, there are artificial sacs that are made. Most humans would believe it to be a form of carbon-dyed egg, although it is more crystalline than carbon, something in that form. And genetics are taken from both entities that evolve, or multiple entities, depending upon what race. But with Treb Bor Yit NE's race, the masculine form and the feminine form both put DNA into that sac, and a physical body is created. Once the physical body is completely evolved to the point where it is ready to step out of that egg form and walk around the planet communicating with others, then a soul deeply embeds into the body and a yit is born. Yet in other races, there are actual forms of eggs that are hatched. In other forms, they are genetically created versions of bodies that souls inhabit. Yet other forms are born in a much different way. Now, humans would perceive this as entities being born from the ground themselves. But this is not the case. What occurs is a small part of the planetary consciousness in which they come from opens up and is open to receive DNA from masculine and feminine, or multiple feminine or multiple masculine forms. Once that occurs, the co-creation of those two DNAs with a type of open ground that is there co-create a physical hardened structure. This energy then evolves into a physical body and an entity is born. This is where much of your theories or rumors about reptilian beings being born directly standing up from primordial ooze or from the direct nature of the ground comes from. It is not that they are doing this. It is that genetically that planet was open as a womb to hold the vibration of that energy. There are multiple other forms, but in that energetic co-creation, those are most of the reptilian races that you understand in your experience. We thank you for this.
Thank you, Aridif. The ones that you were talking about just previously, where the rumors are coming from the ground, were you referring to draconians there?
Yes, of course. Many entities
I thought.
believe that draconian beings are born in that way, yes.
Very nice. Very interesting. Thank
Yes, of
you.
course.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Okay, so our next question that I drew comes from Maz, who says, how do ETs take our DNA to create hybrid children?
Yes, first of all, there are multiple forms in the co-creation of DNA. Some of it is simply taking out the markers, putting it into the formula that they have in order to take some of the markers that are most fitting for the type of hybrid in which they are utilizing. For example, emotional spectrum. Although you do not perceive this as markers within your DNA, there are markers within your physical DNA structures that represent the spectral mood in each individual being that is human. Those are taken out. Those that are wider spectrums are taken out and mixed with the markers of those that are very low spectral to create a balance. The energies can be done in this way. Just as in our previous answer to the query that was previous, the energy is done in multitudes of ways. Sometimes there are sexual co-creations between those beings that are extraterrestrial and human beings. Sometimes they are taking the literal seed of a man or literal eggs from a woman and implanting them with humanoid forms by the sperm or egg in the reverse with their own genetics embedded to create hybrids also. Sometimes there are technologies that can change a human embryo into the construct of embedded versions of the hybrid beings. All of those are done. All of those are done with humans on Earth in this timeline and day. So it is, again, depending on what race or what specific hybridization they are doing. Those entities that are called Zeta Reticuli do multitudes of different forms of DNA, first extracting and secondly co-creating with hybridization. That is why you see multiple layers and levels of hybrid programs. That is how you see Sasani. That is how you see Yel, Pleaidian, all of those energies. There are different versions. And even between, let us use, for example, the Pleaidian and Yel. There were hundreds of iterations between. Even though there were only 10 larger waves, there were sub-wave waves of those, and each of those slightly different, with different markers or entirely different ways in order to extract or to mix the DNA that was available. We thank you for this. We will take our last query for this evening.
Thank you, Aridif.
Yes, of course.
Okay, so our next question comes from William, who's a really good manifester, and it's his birthday tomorrow. So, happy birthday question, William. William says, what will our society look like by the time Saturn leaves Capricorn in 2020? Will the old system be noticeably destroyed?
Yes, first of all, depending upon how you are perceiving that system, there will be a great shift in how many forms of humans communicate with one another. There will be less of that intensified versions of energy that are happening now, especially those that are in political fields. It will not dissipate. It will not lessen completely or even halfway, but it will be a noticeable shift of calming. Those who are frustrated in one way have had time to settle into their new reality. Those who are pushy upon the other spectral energy are starting to relax as they feel they are no longer in threat of losing the position that they feel that they have. So in that essence, both sides of energies of the Earth Collective, the political collective, the economic collective are starting to breathe again at that end. There are also energetic fields with those large energies of well-known human beings who are political in nature or who are well-known through fame or your perhaps you would say the acting forms of career that will be expressed as exposed beings. Things that they were doing that were against what they had been saying will be shown. And also, those who have been quiet will start being more voiceless when they are trying to truly help the human collective in the way that they believe is best. One moment, we'll hydrate and continue. Now we understand the desires to have large shifts. What we suggest always to those who want to see great shifts of their expressed consciousness as they are moving forward in a collective, the greatest way to achieve that shift is to shift within your own self at the greatest possible frequency. And as you are shifting, find those beliefs that no longer feel as if they are giving you that experience of the collective version that you want. When all humans express that their earth is effed up, or they express that there is no energy left for the earth to be happy, what do you believe the version of earth that you experience will be to experience? It will be that of one that is not worthy of your own excitement. So in that essence, remind yourself that when you focus on all of those changes that you desire within the end of your own Satorian cycle, to place focus on what you desire, what is exciting, what compels you the most, then your vibration naturally shifts through this, and your own understanding of manifesting will allow a greater form of that energy. Reminding all of you that as you approach your next year, approach in that same way that you do your 40th birthday, your 21st birthday, your 8th birthday. You have a new lease on life in your expressive terms. Utilize that for the best of your own ability. Remind yourself that the creation around you is only a reflection of what is possible within you to express without resistance in the now moment and in true excitement. This is your ticket forward. We also wish to express, Kalina, we are grateful to have experienced this co-creation with you, as we are excited to have experienced all of you in this evening. We have expressed previously, as is Treb Bor Yit NE, that when you are going through answering questions to those that feel that they are needing information, that it is not accessible to them, we are connecting to your consciousness already, as we are all a part of one. And as we see the parts of your energy that you have yet to see yourself, you are learning. And we, by proxy, are learning as well. We are looking at the parts of our own selves that are unexplored. For this, we congratulate you, and for this, we thank you.
Thank you so much, Aridif, because
Yes, of course.
you all are parts of us that we haven't experienced yet either. So it's just beautiful to be able to co-create and learn from each other. And
Yes, of course.
thank you so much for joining us tonight. And please also give our love to Treb as well.
Yes, of
And
course.
is there any final thing that you wanted to talk about for tonight for Winter Solstice?
Yes, the one thing that we always desire to express, and we have expressed within this evening, to know, feel, and perceive, not only that you are loved, but we also love you.
We love
We
you
bid you
too.
adieu for this evening.
Adieu, sweet Diffie, and happy Winter Solstice. Even though it's
Yes,
on our planet, you are definitely a citizen in our hearts. So,
yes, of course. We thank you for this. Adieu.
welcome. Adieu. Welcome back, baby. How are you feeling?
All right. How did everything go?
Went great. We were all trying to see if we could make it go all night, but we didn't want to get too mean.
No, it's cool though, man.
Amazing questions. I wish we could go on and on. Amazing questions that everybody's getting super deep.
Oh, I'm
Super
glad to
deep
hear
into
that.
amazing topics.
Well, I'm glad to hear that, guys. Thank you
Getting grounded.
guys. Yeah, I gotta get grounded. Thank you guys for coming in tonight. We're gonna try to get more of these live streams out. Um, by tomorrow, we're gonna find that open forum link and put it in the comments. It's in the comments of one of the last 5 videos we've done. So, and it's pinned to the top. But we'll find that open forum link somewhere, and we'll share it in the next day or two, guys. So if you have a personal question you want to ask, you can. I'm gonna jump off, guys. I am in high need of some grounding, and I haven't had dinner yet tonight either, so I'm gonna eat real quick.
Oh, baby.
I love you guys very much. Thank you all for being here tonight. I see that there's a lot more on than when we started, so I'm glad you guys showed up tonight. And for everybody who's watching this later, I love you guys.
Yeah, we love you guys, and don't worry if you joined late. This transmission will be there forever, basically. As long as there's YouTube, as long as we're up here, you'll be able to see it. So don't worry if you missed the first part. You might even be able to rewind it now. So
Yeah, absolutely. Well, thank you guys so much. I love you so much. I'm gonna jump off and enjoy the rest of my night before a Saturday morning, and keep an eye out, guys. If you haven't subscribed, do it, and that way you guys can see every time we do a surprise live stream. You'll get an email, so you'll be able to join us. Love you guys.
love you guys and sweet dreams. And well, if you're on this side of the world, and have a beautiful day if you're on the other side of the world.
Absolutely.
Happy winter solstice, guys.
And if we don't get to say it, have a happy New Year's too, guys.
Yes, but we will try. I think we should try to do a New Year's transmission.
Well, we need to do the Q&A, so maybe we could do that, the open forum then.
Yeah, we'll see.
All right, guys. Well, I
Figure it
love you
out.
guys. Thanks again. Thank you, baby. And we'll talk to you guys
Well,
soon.
talk to you guys soon. Love you guys. We'll be back on soon.
Yes, we will. We love you guys. Bye.
Bye.